Trying to hit that 7,500 subscriber mark. Who's with me? How y'all feeling tonight? It's been a busy day. I got a lot of notes, a lot of things I gotta still put together. If y'all haven't noticed, my Draco episode starts on Thursday at 5 o'clock, right? The series starts Thursday at 5 o'clock. And I'll be releasing them Thursday, then Saturday, and then Monday. So I'll give it time in between the videos. So if y'all can hit the notification button and subscribe and be ready to check it out within that first hour of me releasing, it will help the algorithm, and I would really appreciate that. Let's see who's in here. Who's gonna join the tantrum band? I don't know what to say. I ain't gonna say like, a couple people got different things. Champions, Turtle Nation, Goat Nation. Haven't really thought of mine. I just be against anti-bullying. You know what I mean? I be against bullies. So. Today was a long day. I tapped in, I watched about 20 videos. I talked to a couple little homies' heads off. I still got a couple messages I got to respond to when I get off of here. But I was thinking of some of the little homies, and I hope that they get their stuff together, man. People go through stuff every day in life, right? And if you let things get you depressed and sad, man, you'll never get nowhere in life. You just got to keep pushing through the storm, no matter which way, which direction. You gotta go. Whichever way God directs you, you gotta go, and you gotta be there, and you gotta show up, and you gotta be at your best. Your health gotta be correct. You gotta try to stay physically, mentally, and spiritually strong, because the devil's at every corner waiting. So I couldn't figure out which video it was where I was talking about when I was left that boot camp, so I might as well just say it in this one, and it's in the first 2.5 minutes, so I remember. First 2.5 minutes. Alright, so they had sent me to a program in Rite of Passage. It's called Rite of Passage. It's out in Nevada. It's a boot camp program, right? So I got sentenced. I had 4 years as a juvenile, right? And so they sent me to this program, but I didn't know it was boot camp. And the homie told me to go up to the program that was smooth. So I get to the program. I see the homie, I'm like, what's up, homie? Man, he didn't even look at me. He just, man, everyone was working out, doing push-ups and jumping jacks. Nobody was walking. Everyone had to run to where they had to go. I'm like, man, what kind of place they sent me to, right? So they sent me to this desert, right? So I was always raised on respect. You know, you treat somebody like how you want to be treated. So the first day of boot camp, when I'm in there, right, when you're not allowed to talk. If you talk without permission, you gotta do push-ups, right? So I'm like, well, I'm gonna try to do this program and do the best I could so I could get back to my family out in Denver, right? So what I did was, the first day comes, they tell us we gotta get down and we gotta take the dust off the ground. If they come by and they go like this and they see dust on their fingers, you gotta do push-ups, right? So I'm sitting there cleaning my area, being quiet, trying to mind my own business. The dude from Utah was blowing dust back in my area. So I'm like, man, chill out with that stuff, right? So he looked at me and he told me to shut up, little B. So like, I'm like, man, this dude don't know me. So I got up and I went and I kind of stomped his head in, right? I hate to say it like that. I kicked him in his face. You know what I'm saying? He went under the bunk. And the drill sergeant came running up like, did I see you what I just seen? I'm like, I don't know what you seen. So he told me to sit appropriate. I didn't even know what that meant, sit appropriate, right? So I'm like, all right. So he told me to go outside and sit like that. So I go outside and I sit like that, right? Boom. I sit in it's called a non-compliant, right? They tell me that I got to go to a non-compliant spot for fighting, right? So I don't know what it is or nothing, right? So I go to this, they draw this little box in the middle of the desert, bro, like a line box in the dirt. And if you come out the box they slam you up and they mess you up pretty bad, right? So I'm like, man, they got me in this box. People are working out. I'm like, man, can I use the restroom? And he was like, yeah, but first you gotta do some push-ups for talking without permission, stud. I'm like, stud, man, what are you talking about, man? I need to use the bathroom. He's like, yep, that's your second offense. Go on, knock out 20 push-ups for talking without permission. I'm like, man, I'll knock out the push-ups after I use the bathroom. Like, I wasn't comprehending I was at a real live boot camp spot. Like, that's how crazy I was. Like, it's slow, I guess, right? Like, man, I was wild. I didn't want to go to no boot camp and try to rehabilitate nothing, right? So I tell them I ain't doing no push-ups. So they put me out inside of that box, the non-compliant box, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, bang, I look around, there's a couple other dudes in boxes, a couple like 30 yards this way, 30 yards that way, right? And then there's a staff member that sits there and he watches and he observes people, right? So I'm like, man, I got to get up out of here. So there's this Mexican dude, right, from Colorado and a white dude from Utah, and they're like, man, we could go that way. And there's a city that way, and I'm looking around, and there's nothing but desert. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna be able to get up out of here, right? But I'm like, man, these dudes must know where they're going, right? So we take off in the middle of the desert at what was it? December 20th in 1999. We take off in the middle of the desert. Now, remind you, Area 51 is not far from here, right? Like, we used to see the jets come down, and when they came down, right there, wave to us, and then after the jets flew by, that's when you knew you had to cover your ears because the noise came behind it, right? So we take off running this desert, right? Well, the one dude, he ran the other way, right? And me and the other dude, we stood together. So we ended up being in this desert for 4 days with no food or water, right? I thought I was gonna be gone, right? So we get over this mountain. I see a mountain off in the distance, right? And there's like a glow. So I'm like, there gotta be a city behind that because it's pitch black. The only thing you can see is the moon. Like, it's scary at nighttime in the desert, right? Because you can fall, like, you can't even see the ground, so you can stumble over rocks, and there's little dips, and it's cold. It's December, right? And I thought the desert was hot as hell, right? Because I'm from Colorado, right? So I'm thinking the desert's gonna be hot, but I didn't realize at nighttime it gets real cold in the desert, right? So I'm like, man, me and this dude, we're out there freezing. We got sweaters on, we're freezing, right? Three and a half days, right? He went his own direction, I went my own direction, because I went back. We're going, and there was these people digging in the middle of the desert, right? It reminded me of some X-Files type stuff, right? It was like a fence, and there was like tractors and cars coming in, and they were just in the middle of the desert, like in the middle of absolutely nowhere, digging for whatever they were digging, right? And so we had passed through there, right? Well, when I felt like I wasn't gonna make it no more, like I was starting to fall asleep going up hills and stuff. They weren't like real mountains, like they're hills, but they're kind of steep though. So like, boom, I'm falling asleep, like going up the mountain. I'm like, man, I gotta get out of here before I die out here. So I went back to that scary X-Files spot, and the other homie, he kept going. He ended up making it 300 miles to a city called Battle Mountain in Nevada, right? I ended up in a town called Fallon. No. Yeah, Hawthorne. They took me to Hawthorne, Nevada, right? And when I got there, man, it was crazy, right? On the way back, there was this junkyard in the middle of nowhere, and there was water bubbling up out the ground. So I was so thirsty. I'm like, oh, water. So I started drinking water. Snap back, how you feeling today? Yeah, the desert gets real cold, right? And so, I started drinking this water, and the water was like, I didn't know you couldn't drink spring water. I just knew I was thirsty. I hadn't drunk nothing in 3.5 days. I'm like, I gotta drink something, right? I had ate a little bit of snow, but I knew somewhere in my education not to eat a lot of snow because you get dehydrated more or something like that, right? That's when I was younger. So I was only 15 at the time. So I go back to that where they're digging it, and a simple family lifestyle. How you doing? I went back to where they're digging, and I tell them people, look, I'm from this program over here. They be beating kids at nighttime, and I need help. And so they called the sheriff, and it wasn't, well, it was the tribal police, right? And they came and they took me to this jail in Hawthorne, Nevada, and they told me that I had to go back to the program, right? And I'm like, I have to go back to the program, but I just told y'all they're beating people there. Like, you don't understand. They'll take the toughest kid that comes there that's gangbanging and stuff. You're in the middle of the desert, right? Around a whole bunch of ex-Marines and hardcore people, and they're trying to break you, right? So at nighttime when you be trying to sleep, you'll just be hearing kids screaming in the middle of the desert. And then I can't even say on YouTube what some of them kids were screaming, you know what I'm saying? But you could tell the staff members was trying to really break them down, you know what I'm saying? They broke me down a couple times. People said they heard me screaming from a mile and a half away, and I don't even scream when I fight. But they were putting me in these weird restraints and putting my hands behind my back, and man, like they knew what they was doing. They knew how to break the kids, right? So I tried to get away from the program, and now these people are telling me I got to go back. I'm like, oh man. But that's basically how I went. 4 days with no food or water in the desert, right? And I ended up trying to run from that program 4 times. Now that's insanity, right? I ended up running 70 miles from, let's see, it was Yerington, Nevada, and I made it to a little town called Virginia City, Nevada. Now, Virginia City, Nevada is where they have the Wild Wild West shootouts and stuff like that on the old, like, cowboy movies and stuff, right? Well, I don't know how to swim, right? So all I had to do was cross the Carson River and I would have been free. And guess what? I had to walk, like, an extra 6 miles around until I found a spot to go, and then I got up there. Crip Jesus, how you feeling today, brother, man? How you feeling, man? I'm just trying to gain these watch hours, man. See if I could try to hurry up and get to 7,500 subscribers, man. But yeah, that was deep how they tried to go in and they was trying to pick on the homie, right? I feel like they was trying to pick on the homie. I get touchy when it comes to subjects like that because I went through that type of stuff. I was always the dude in the middle, right? I'm the one that's Middle Eastern, right? And then my gang colors was orange, and at nighttime it looks red, and I look like a Mexican, so then they don't know if I'm a Crip, a Blood, a Sereno, a Norteño, right? Like, I threw everybody off, and then I'm righteous, and like, man, I always been the one in the middle, right? So I seen all the aspects, but I know when I went through a home facility in New Jersey, 99% of them dudes that were Bloods were also Muslims or Moors, right? So when I see that the homies on the West Coast is educating and trying to teach the homies other than stuff, because not one time have I heard the homies say nothing about can't stop, won't stop, will not see stop, or say anything about no gang stuff. He's teaching, all his teachings is about educational stuff, right? And so for people from the East Coast to see that the homies picking up motion to try to kill the motion, I think they're only making the motion better though. But Snapback said, a simple lifestyle, said Crip. Yeah, wow, that'll make you reform. Snapback said, you are close to getting your watch to monetize. Nah, nope. I had erased all them videos, so I started over. But I'm not worried about it, right? Like I said, I got a 3-episode just to kick it off, is with me and the alien, and we're talking about like Anunnaki. Like, I ask people about Anunnaki and they don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm like, all right, so okay. So what I'm doing is it's a series with Anunnaki. It's a 3-series thing, and hopefully that picks up a little bit more momentum, and then I'm gonna just keep making videos that I guess I feel like that the people need to see, the people need to educate themselves on, because most people 2 + 2 is 4. I mean 5. They think 2 + 2 is 5, and they're not seeing the whole equation. Like, Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492, but when he got here, he started slaughtering the Indians. Now tell me where that makes sense. All in the same paragraphs, and then they got our teachers, like, that went to school, college, and everything, teaching our kids this. And nobody's saying, like, this ain't correct. Like, I just don't get it, though. But, yep, you know it's a simple family lifestyle. That's all I do is sit here and I speak to the little homies, and I try to get their mind right and try to get them thinking, you know what I mean? Like I always tell people, love whatever tribe you're from. Love whatever religion you're from. Just don't box yourself into just one thing, right? You got to be able to look outside the box and see the bigger picture. God gave us an intellect and a mind for a reason, right? So just use it. That's the only thing I can say I agree with Trump on. Well, I ain't gonna say the only thing, but bring common sense back. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think common sense was ever here, and I don't even think he got common sense. Not to speak on a president bad, you know. Certain things will kill the algorithm, I understand. But I could only be real, and I could only teach the little homies my experiences and what I went through in life and the certain programs. And when I speak on certain things, I don't glorify the stuff that I've been through. I tell the little homies the stuff because I know they're going through the same things I went through, right? Like 99% of people on YouTube is not going to relate to what I talk about because no one's been through what I've been through. No one's seen their best friend stab their other best friend in the face or a couple of ramen noodles. You know what I mean? So I understand that I'm not going to get the support and the backup that I need because most of the people that have been there done that is either out of jail and they don't care, they don't want to be bothered, or they're dead or doing a life sentence. So they don't even got a chance to speak, right? Crip Jesus said, drop the link, let me join. Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. I was going to try to call you later on today. I just didn't know how late you be up because I wanted to finish watching that other interview with the other little homie. The other little homie made a lot more sense than the other little homie. Like, I don't understand how people be boxed in the way they are. That's all, man. Some people just don't see a bigger picture, right? And so that's why I always tell people, if you love Jesus, love Jesus. If you love Muhammad, love Muhammad. If you love Buddha, love Buddha, right? You live on your phone? Yep, I'm live on the phone right now. My other phone, I'm not, I got that though. You could drop, hey, if you want, you could drop anyone that got some video, and because there's some content creators in here, right? Anyone that wants to drop a link, right? I think we just drop it in there. If one of y'all want to drop a link to y'all's channel or whatever, y'all can do that. And if for some reason it stops it, I'll go back later and I'll fix it and I'll drop y'all links in there too. And then like always after the live, if you go on there and you comment, after the live, there's going to be other people because the community's getting bigger and bigger, our community, and it's going to push the momentum. So, like I said, when someone new comes on YouTube and they need their 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, and Tantrum or Lushan or Snapback or A Simple Lifestyle, we Crip Jesus, like motherfuckers got their communities and we can direct traffic. However, we got to direct traffic to the right tribe of people that needs to go to the right tribe of people. If y'all understand what I'm saying, right? But yeah, you see it up there. Look, Crips need Jesus too. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even get showed the whole studio. You know what I'm saying? Like I got stuff I'm working on. I ain't got the light on and stuff, right? But I'm putting the whole studio together so I can get ready to file taxes the correct way next year, and then I could build up. And then I got a couple other homies, you know what I'm saying, that came home and they're pretty good with law. Like, they're real good. Matter of fact, one of them's on here right now, Crip Jesus. He's real good with law. He could teach people a lot of stuff, y'all. Matter of fact, some of these books right here, Crip Jesus, right here. Got every book up here besides the Stanley Tukey Williams one is people that I bought books from in real life, right? Like the homie right here, he's on my Facebook too, right? Doing 40 years for crashing the car. 20 in the feds, 20 in the state. Then we got the Black Indian Wars, Crip Jesus. And then the Blue Bible. Now the Blue Bible, this is what people trip off of, right? Because they speak on it and they have no clue what it is. Right? Like, the dudes was hating on the homie, but you could go through this whole Bible and it's nothing but history. Just like with the Black Indian Wars. It's nothing but history. History. You know what I'm saying? He's not giving, promoting gangs and self-destruction, nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, This is another thing he was working on right here. Crip Jesus is with the Wu-Tang Clan. Y'all tap in, you know what I'm saying? He's with the people that started rap damn near. You know what I'm saying? These were the people that were around back then. Wu-Tang Clan became Blue-Tang Clan from the East Coast to the West Coast, and people are mad. But you get it? I overstand situations, and I see stuff before it happens, man. I believe God gave me a different type of intellect. Like, I believe I got a little bit more Anunnaki in me. But like I said, a lot of people don't know what that is. Right? Snapback Bob said, a lot of people will join because they believe in you and they like your cost, right? I'm getting sleepy, so I have to catch another time. Peace and blessings. All right, Snapback for sure. I appreciate you stopping through. I'm only gonna be on here like 10 more minutes. Like, I'm trying to cut these lives to 30 and maybe do 2 a day. I want to get the little homies involved with the tattooing, but usually when I'm tattooing, it's always music being played, and there's a lot of stuff going on throughout the day, right? But yeah, I just try to tap in with the right people. Shit, I got so many stories. Like I said, people will think I'm lying, man, but I be trying to just put pieces of the puzzle together. Like, if these people are from this tribe, then guess what? I know people from this tribe, right? From all over, right? And so for me, right, when I got to that program that I was talking about in Nevada, right, I went there, and I'm from West Side Hoover, and dudes from the East Side Trade Gangster Crip in Denver, and we didn't even get along, right? But when we got to Nevada, that's when we seen the bigger picture, like, well, hell, we the only ones here, we gotta go and put it down together. Ding, 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 ding. And then he's the one that unalived the Denver Bronco in 2007. His name was Lil Let Loose. Me and Lil Let Loose was putting it down in Nevada together, bro. You gotta let me know you did that art show in Blue-Tang art. And we about to come up with, yeah, hey, look, for sure, right? And I was just thinking about something earlier, right? Like, when I seen all the hate starting to come from this part of the United States, I was like, man, the stuff that I just learned now, like this alien, after we get off, I can show you, bro. You can call me and I can show you, because I already got uploaded to YouTube, but it ain't gonna come out. But I got the trending stuff where I could bring like AI to life and stuff, so now I could take Blue-Tang and bring it to life with words too, though, words and movements and whatever I want, right? Like, it's getting like out of control crazy, bro. Like, so I'm like, man, I gotta put something together that's gonna, like, even because I know you got shorts, so if I could put you some shorts together where you could go on and post them up where they could go, and you put your little twist to it, like how you put your twist to it, you know, that's where the money's gonna come in for sure, right? And then, like I said, this year my daughter turned 18, so now I'm working on the studio. I'm trying to get these taxes together. And then I got a couple other homies that are teaching me stuff with loans and etc. You know, people that know the law real good, you know what I'm saying? The UCC laws and etc. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had people overturn about 20 people's life sentences, but couldn't overturn his own because it's just one gang spec. You know what I'm saying? But the law, if you know the law, you could just about do anything. Just like anything, the power of words, right? The gift of gab. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it. You know, words. If you know how to speak correctly and you got a high vocabulary and you keep educating yourself, you could do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You can manipulate any situation, or not really manipulate. You maneuver. You show people your perspective so they know which way you're moving and why. Because people will act like they know everything, but then they don't understand why you're moving the way they move. But everyone else can see it, but these dudes been reading books and scientists for years, right? Make some AI videos as music videos to some of the songs I could load. All right, for sure, right? So that's what I could do. I could work on that tonight for real, because I was just thinking about, man, I ain't really got nothing else to do when I get off this live. I came out here for real, right? There was a little homie that started middle school and he was real nervous. And I told him, you know, it's going to be like that when you start high school or college, you know. All you got to do is take some deep breaths and handle whatever comes at you. I ain't going to tell him to be a gangster and to start knocking heads off and stuff. I just tell him, you know, mind his own business, treat people with respect, and keep pushing. You know, like, you got to handle problems when they come, but you can't be afraid to live life and be afraid to die too. someone got to make it make sense. You gotta live. But yeah, I was just trying to hit 30-minute watch time, so like I got 5 more minutes, and then boom, I could go on here and I could start putting stuff together, and we could try to put that music video together, because it's not gonna be hard, bro. I think like all 3 of the videos I did with Alien, I think it only took me like $35, but it took me like, I ain't gonna lie, it took me like 15 to 20 hours of editing. But it's cool because I like to do that anyways, and I'm actually, all my weaknesses, I'm trying to make them my strengths. Like I said, man, growing up how I grew up, we didn't care about reading this and that, and then I started reading a lot and got into it, and then I started doing speeches and all kinds of stuff, right? And then I went to prison, and then I quit reading out loud. So now I notice when I start reading out loud, I get to stuttering. So since I know that's my weakness, I'm gonna turn it to my strengths. Just like I didn't know shit about the computers or cars. I'm saying I'm gonna make them my strengths, homie. And then I'm gonna just network with other people that got the same like minds, that want to succeed, that want to grow, that don't want to just sit on the couch and ask the next man to hold a dollar type dude. Like, man, get up out of here, man. Go quit being a bum and get yourself together, man. We don't need nobody on the couch just trying to get cigarette money off of us. You know, we need people to be thinkers around here. So as long as I keep building with people that think, right, the people that I know, we're building, and then I'm building. And so as soon as everyone gets in position, it might even take 2 more years. Who knows? But I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take off. Something's going to blow for sure. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the correct way. You know what I'm saying? People ain't got to do crazy stuff to get money. You can make money doing that, man. We sell candle melts, right? Candle melts. You know what I'm saying? Get you a wax burner from the Dollar Tree for $1. Get some wax and some candle scents and learn how to do it correctly, and then you gonna create your own job. You got little homies out there selling them for you, and you could probably make $200,000 to $300,000 a year if you do it correctly, if not more. That's the crazy part. And these things right here is nothing. $1 a pop, $1 a pop. You know what I'm saying? You take 10,000 and make 100,000 of those and flood them out there to the streets. And guess what? People like their houses smelling good. Women love that type of stuff, you know what I mean? So you just gotta have the right product. That's all I feel. People are gonna hate on you no matter if you're selling Bibles or if you're burning them. So let them hate. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing is we're all different. Everyone's gonna think someone else is weird, and that's cool, right? Just don't become a weirdo. When you could become a weirdo, that's when shit hits the fan. Excuse my language, you know. Like, I try not to use inappropriate language because I know it's ignorance, but sometimes the only thing the little homies understand is ignorance, it seems like. But I've been on here 28 minutes. Like I said, I'm just trying to hit this 30 mark, trying to hurry up and get this to 7,500. Once I can get it to 10,000 subscribers, I want to redo that 2 + 2 equals 5 video. Probably go out to like Vegas and get some homies to go out there and show people what it really means, you know what I mean? Because people don't understand. Like, I guess you gotta have some, like a preacher sitting here talking and then me talking. So the preacher will talk and then I will talk, right? And a lot of people, they'll understand the preacher and a lot of people won't. And then a lot of people will understand me, and they'll have no clue what the preacher's talking about. Thou shalt heave forth, and what? Say that again, huh? Right? So when you get it from me, it's like niggaphonics and ninjaphonics, right? So I got a special way of getting at the little homies where they do understand that, you know, you gotta love your tribe, but you gotta love your mom more. You know, like if you look at the video that I posted, how I grew up in the federal USP, if you look at them stabbings on there, 2 people were unalive, right? But what I want y'all to look at is what the other people were doing while it was going on. People were walking around like nothing even happened, right? You know why? Because it happened every day. And I went to prison 4 times before I got to that spot, right? And I didn't even think there was prisons like that in the United States. Like, we were allowed to stab each other, and if you didn't, people looked at you a certain type of way. Like, if you stab somebody, they ship the dude you stabbed to California or Florida or something like that, and you got to stay on the compound. I remember seeing people stab people and they were still there a couple days later, man. Like walking the compound, didn't even have to go the hole. But that's it, y'all. That's my 30 minutes. That's a quick little story. I want y'all to remember not to self-destruct. Love life. Love your God, whoever your God is. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate the next man for loving their God. Just know that there's only one God. Don't box yourself in. And remember, 2 + 2 is 4. It's not 5. Have a good day, y'all. God bless.